morning. It is Monday, our first full day here in Savannah. I am rushing to grab some Starbucks right outside the hotel on the riverfront, and I am going to head back to the room. We're gonna grab and eat this real quick, and then we are going on a cemetery tour. Let me explain when I get back to the hotel, since I'm trying to remember which one it is, and I'm at the doors here, so more to come. So here's our quick breakfast for the day: a ham and cheese croissant and a bacon, Gouda, cheese, and a ciabatta. You know, quick and fast because, oh, and also we got a couple of hot chocolates. We are going to be heading to the Bonaventure Cemetery this morning. We have a tour that I booked through Viator, and we're getting picked up at 9:45 and starts at 10 o'clock. So it's about an hour and a half, I think, to check out the cemetery. I booked the tour because it's a little further out, and I figured it's providing transportation. We'll have a tour guide to walk us through the cemetery and see all the stuff. So I thought it'd be a great way to start the day. And then more to come in terms of the afternoon, since we've got dinner reservations and then another adventure tonight. So let me snarf down breakfast and then we'll go from there. Morning. We are heading to the valet area of the hotel to get picked up for our tour. We are walking along the city side, not the riverfront this morning. Here are some views of this 5-acre property on the street side. I love all the cobblestone streets here. And here is the other entrance. The buildings aren't connected, so you have to walk outside, but that's fine. Here's where we were yesterday. All the Christmas trees. Love all the Christmas trees in here. So pretty. Did you sleep well last night? Mostly. Okay, mostly. It's a very comfortable bed. Room is very nice. We did get waken up by a loud ship horn this morning, but that was it. Otherwise, it was really good. Love the hotel so far. Here are some daylight views, since last night was kind of dark. Look at the big dinosaur up there. I need to dig in more about the history behind all this place, because there's so many fossils and geodes and all that stuff. What do you want to buy? What do you want to buy? The horse?
It's only 16.
Only 1,600.
Doesn't matter over there, it's one match with that.
Sure.
It's only 2 more spots.
All right, if that's what you want. Oh, there's the breakfast place I was going to consider this morning, but I didn't know how long it was going to take, so I decided to skip it. No, I went to Starbucks, but that was
Is this the place?
Yeah. Maybe another day when we have more time. All right, we are waiting for our transportation to pick us up to the Bonaventure Cemetery tour. We are waiting in the drop-off pickup at the JW Marriott in this area. You spin you around. It's just beautiful here along the riverfront. Behind me is building number 1. This is building number 2, and we are in building number 3. So definitely like a beautiful resort if you're beautiful hotel resort if you're gonna stay in Savannah. All right, I'm gonna be on the lookout for our transportation. Here is the van that picked us up for our Bonaventure Cemetery tour. There's Tim, our guide, with his dog Quinn. Here's our group for this walking tour. And I'm looking forward to this.
So he ended up with about 9,000 acres down the Georgia coast. He was harvesting live oak trees for building ships. And he built his house over here about 1762. It's right around the time his daughter married Josiah Tatnall I. And he and his son-in-law ran the plantation together, but they're not buried here. And according to the burial records, there's 8 people buried in the plot, and only 3 of the graves are marked. Just very simply with the garden tile. So garden tile, just like it sounds, it was used in your gardens. It was a border for planting beds. And that's how you'll generally see it out here in these old cemetery plots. They were usually in the corner where the planting bed used to be, around the outside. Sometimes they're angels like this, but quite often it's just a woman wearing Greek-style robes, kind of sitting or standing at the grave as a mourner. The constant on the monuments is going to be evergreen. So here the evergreen is the palm branch he's putting on the cross.
We're approaching Johnny Mercer's grave.
Oh yeah, I mean he was the lyricist back in the 1940s and 50s. So we just had a question a couple of plots back. You were asking if this is the Wilmington River, and it's exactly what it is, the Wilmington River. The Savannah River is across the horizon to the north. So Savannah's back that way about 15 miles. The ocean is that way about. But in the book, it's kind of how everything starts. John Barrett discovers Savannah on a trip down south with his friends from New York City. And he falls in love with Savannah. He gets an apartment here and he starts coming back as often as he can. And on one of these return trips, he's been given the name of Mary Hardy. This woman has information. Well, the line here, the Morgan Angel is one of the virtues. This is hope. And that is how hope is personified. It's a female figure holding onto an anchor. And you can look her up. Look up Hope Monument or Hope Statue. And you'll find her in cemeteries all over the world, just like this. If you come here in April and May, the moss gets little green flowers in it. And I mean, they're tiny, tiny. You can't see them unless you get close up. That's the seed pod. If you want to touch it, it's like a needle. And actually, if you want to break that open, you don't want to go for it. This one's opened up right here. I'll let you take that one right there. But this one's, you see it's dried out and it's starting to open up, and it's like dandelion seeds. They're like little feathery things, and that's what you'll see them floating around the cemetery. So that's how they propagate. They float up into the trees, they catch into the bark, and they just start dripping down. Was a Confederate general during the Civil War, but he was also an 1857 graduate of West Point, so he knew a lot of the officers of the occupying army during after the war ended.
Well, we are back at the hotel after a full morning of doing the Bonaventure Cemetery tour. Tim was our tour guide. He's from Dash Tours. I'll put a link in the description. I booked it through Viator, but he was excellent. He picked us up at our hotel. You tell him where exactly you are, he'll pick you up. He made like 4 stops for different people that came on board, and we met a few people at the cemetery location. Great walking tour. He knows so much. I mean, he really knows this place. He's from Savannah, has a lot of history, and gives you a lot of great information in terms of the folks that are there at the cemetery, the history, you will just have a lot of information, right? And for those of you that are into the book, oh my God, Midnight Garden, the book of Garden of the Good and Evil, I'm forgetting the name. I saw the movie at one point. There's a lot of linkage in terms of like famous people, sites, statuary, stuff like that that's connected to that book. So if you are into it, the Bonaventure Cemetery, sorry, I'm trying to clear something here on my screen, is a great tour for you to arrange. And like for the 2 of us, it was like $70 for the 2 of us. So really reasonable. And it's a little after almost like 1 o'clock, and we just got back. So it's been a long tour, and we started around 10 o'clock. Really great experience to do, so definitely check it out. Now we are gonna try to find some quick lunch because we have early dinners tonight before we do another adventure much later on in the evening. And it's getting cooler now. The weather's dropping to the 60s, so it's getting a little cooler. So we're changing from our shorts to a little warmer weather gear. All right, more to come, and onward to finding food. So we're on the river walk right now. We're gonna head to one of these district places to eat lunch, and it's empty. It's on Monday. I guess it's normal. It's quiet on a Monday. These are all the Christmas stalls that are closed. I wonder what time they open, if they open at all on a weekday. But I love this area along the river walk. So we are at District Barbecue right at the hotel, and we got the 2 meat platter, and this is a ½ pound. Imagine if people get a pound of meat. This is the brisket, 2 servings of brisket, cornbread, and it comes with 2 sides. We picked beans, and then the mac and cheese, and then we're gonna get a dessert after this. And again, we're having an early dinner tonight, so we don't want to overdo it, but looking at this, I'm gonna be like full. So, and here's the view of where we are. The river is right outside with the Christmas markets, and this is the bar where we're at. District Barbecue. It's really good. Cut into the brisket, and it is like so tender and really good. Mac and cheese is really creamy. The beans are okay. I'm not a big fan of beans.
You try them?
Yeah, I did. It's okay. But the brisket is delicious. What question were you going to ask?
Do you not like the beans because they make you fart?
What? You're gonna. Why is that what you're asking?
You're cheating all over the studio.
Here is the banana bread pudding. What does it have in it? Do you remember?
Banana. Some kind of liquor, I think.
Okay. You're liking the banana bread pudding? Yeah? I had to hurry up and start eating because I was trying to figure out another reservation. But David here has been devouring this thing because he likes it a lot.
And you're still not eating.
I'm eating. You can always get this to go too. No, I mean for another time. It's all good. We were just in this cute little shop along the River District area by the hotel after our very, very good lunch. And there are all these cute little mice. I'll pop in a picture here of one of the mice I saw. I could just see a whole tree decorated with these mice. Beautiful. They're like $14 a piece. So now we are going to go to the Davenport House Museum. It's like a 15-minute walk from where we are. So I hear it's like a nice historical place to check out. So we're going to do that now. Here is a Davenport house. I believe it's all of historical information about the slaves' lives here. We're going to check it out this afternoon and see what it is all about.
Talking about the history of the house, it's 1820s, all the way up to, we're going to go 1828. About the stairway. By the way, because this is new, we want to hear what improvements you could make. and I'm going to play you a recording. And it's not Morgan Freeman, but it sounds like it. Then we'll talk.
Where you are now was once the living and working space of the black men, women, and children who were enslaved by the owners of this house. Their labor and ability allowed for the enslavers and the city of Savannah to thrive. Historically, there has been little of 13 of them were purchased away from their families and brought to this home by the Davenports. Nancy, Tom, Bella, Jack, Isaac, Jacob, Polly, Mary, Anne, Deepak, and throughout the house, you will find the story of the enslaved people who lived, worked, endured, and survived.
Do this all deliberately. This is a planned idea. The house has a public and a private section, so to speak. There's potential, and he would say, look, I can build you a house by having this kind of column. Now the columns are deliberate. It's an upper class thing. It shows that you're more educated and that you're better off and you know what you're doing. Half a gallon of St. Croix rum, 1 quart of Gordon's gin, 1 quart of Hennessy brandy, and half a pint of Benedictine, and 1.5 quarts of rye whiskey. Then you mix that up with some oranges and brown sugar. Tell you about lifestyles and perspectives. So, you've got the wallpaper, obviously. You've got the paint behind you. It was developed in England because during the hot summer months, we all welcome back to Savannah, but really you don't have to do that. You have to do this one. Folks will come through here all times because of all Out of 1,000 women, 10 are expected to die in childbirth. So women lived much less longer, or lived much less than not as many years, because of the medical practices of the day as pushed by male doctors. The male doctor in this case has been
finished our tour of the Davenport house. Great historical tour. It's one of the houses where were able to see the lives of the slaves and then see their quarters. Found out that the slave quarter portion on the lower level, on the basement part, it's only the third week that it's been opened. So we were fortunate enough to be like some of the first few people to see it. The tour, it was like $15 per person, and it lasted, I forgot how long it was, probably like almost 2 hours maybe. So it was maybe less than that. Let me double check my clock after this, but it was definitely a great informative tour. Our guide Daniel was fantastic, and a lot of history in terms of the way the folks here lived in Savannah, and just the treatment of the slaves is something that you definitely need to see and understand for history. And now we're gonna walk down this street over here and explore a little bit before our dinner reservations later on this evening. All right, well, we finished the Davenport house tour. We are just a block away from Leopold's Ice Cream, which we hear is worth checking out, famous. And I think it's in the next block on the left, if I'm seeing this correctly. I can spin you around, you can see where we are. All right, so here is the street that we're on. Oh, I'm on the wrong, it's on the right side across the street. We're in the wrong place. We're gonna have to jaywalk here. Here we are at Leopold's Ice Cream. We're gonna check it out. Line isn't too bad this time of day. All right, we picked up our Leopold's. What flavor did you get?
Lemon custard.
Lemon custard, just a single, right? And then I got a pistachio. Single scoop as well. I almost got a double, but it looks so big. We're having early desserts. Okay, so I think we passed by Paula Dean's place this morning on the way to the cemetery. And now here is the actual restaurant and shop. We were told to check out the retail shop, which is cute, but here we are at the Olympia Cafe. We're gonna check it out and have dinner tonight. We have reservations. And looking forward to trying it. Well, we made it to the Olympia Cafe. It's right along the riverfront. What are you saying? I'm trying to record. We had 6 o'clock dinner reservations because we have the tour later on tonight, so we wanted to get there early. But of course, we already had dessert early at Leopold, and we walked around. But looking forward to trying Olympia Cafe. We'll show you
We
the
just
food.
ate ice cream and now we're hungry for dinner.
There's always room for food on vacation. Opa! There you go.
Lemon.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Okay, so David got the trio.
It's for a picture.
Moussaka pasticcio dolmades with rice and peas and potatoes. And then I have the shrimp scallops over couscous with potatoes is what I got.
before Paul.
So we just ordered the Galactico Borico. It looks really good. Look at all that cream and stuff. Looks really good. So we are back at the hotel again. We just finished dinner at Olympia Cafe. It was a delicious Greek restaurant. I had the shrimp and scallops over couscous, and David had the trio of the moussaka, pasticcio, and the dolmades with some sides. And then, we started off with saganaki, always a fun little starter. And then we had galactoborico for dessert. It's more of a custard with some phyllo dough and like sweet flavors and honey and stuff like that, and a syrup. So it was okay. It was I was expecting it was not the best galactoborico I've ever had, but it was okay. And it was just a quick 5-minute walk from the hotel along the river walk. And we're here for a little bit, just relaxing. I had too much food today. And then shortly, we are going to be doing a hearse ghost tour. Yes, we're going to be riding in an open air hearse and going around the city, listening to ghost stories and all that stuff. Last night was all about the holidays in our Old Town trolley. Tonight it's going to be about scary haunts and in riding in a hearse. This will be a little bit different. I think we're going to have to put on an extra layer of coat because the hearse is going to be open air. It's been converted so that people sit in the back. There's up to 8 people that can sit there, and it's open air, so it's a little cooler now. It's only like below, maybe it's like upper 50s at this point, so it's gotten really cool in the last 24 hours. So this will be very interesting and novel and fun thing to do. So you'll see all of that when we get to that time. But again, it's just a short walk where we're going to meet up to meet the hearse for picking us up. It's like a 5-minute walk from the hotel. But that is the latest of our first full day here in Savannah. A lot more to come. All right, we are waiting for our hearse to arrive in a few minutes. We are looking for hearse number 985. We're here on the corner of Montgomery and Bryan Street. It's just like less than 5 minutes from the hotel, so it's a perfect pickup. We are looking forward to seeing how this is all about. It's a little cooler tonight. It's below 60 right now, so hopefully we will not freeze.
Savannah is known as a city built upon her dead.
No.
You heard it tonight. And I'm going to prove to you by the end of the tour that is exactly what we have done here in the city. So Savannah, you probably already know we were one of the original 13 colonies of the New World. Now, we were actually the 13th and last colony established. Now, Savannah was initially set up to be what was known as a buffer state. So that just meant in case the Spanish that occupy what is today Florida, well, in case they decided they wanted to come up and invade the colonies, they were going to run into Savannah here first. So really, I mean, we were that first line of defense. Everyone, we are in Johnson Square right now. I want you to look at the trees here though in this square. Because these trees, they're just a bit different from all the other trees and all the other squares and really all the other trees in Southeast Georgia for that matter. They're missing something that all of our other trees have. Any guesses on what they're missing?
The moss.
The moss. You got it. Absolutely no Spanish moss in any of these trees over here. Now they said that has something to do with the gentleman that is actually buried to the left of us underneath that monument in the center of the square over there. Well, that's because this monument, it actually marks the spot for the first Jewish cemetery. Guess where that cemetery is? It runs all underneath the median here, underneath the road that we're crossing over, and continues to run underneath this right-hand corner lot where they simply just built the first Presbyterian church right on top of the Jewish cemetery. Just Savannah. 3, 5, directly in front of the hearse, you're going to see a sign. It says Chippewa Square. Well, actually, that's where the bench sat, where Mr. Forrest waited on that bus to go see his Jenna. Yep, right over there. Now, from what I understand, we tried to leave the bench there after filming, for people to enjoy, take pictures with, whatnot. But unfortunately, we ended up having to move it because people started taking chips of it off to take home as souvenirs. Those bodies that surgeon was quickly starting to accumulate during the Civil War. Well, we needed somewhere to put the bodies. So, yet again, another location is the square to the left of us, Madison Square, because it is said that he actually used this square as his own personal burial ground for all those Civil War soldiers. Now, not only are there supposed to be numerous Civil War soldiers' bodies buried over here, but the Siege of Savannah. Now, this was the second bloodiest battle of the American Revolutionary War. They said a good portion of that battle was fought in this area. Right back there on the corner, where the fence turns to start to come down this side of the house, we'll have people in this area during those early hours in the morning. I was telling you about the witching hours. Now, people will claim that you can sometimes see a child standing right back there. I'm always curious when I come by here and I look through those windows and I do see people in their dining. I'm always curious if they know that where every single one of those dining room tables are today, where they're sitting having their meals. Hundreds of people have laid on display because, well, this is also Savannah's first morgue/funeral home. Totally different types of preservatives being used in this building throughout the years. But yeah, but this was the city morgue that I was telling you about that came full of all those yellow fever victims, full of the hospital morgue did, and before they just started to push them across the road back there behind us. Now across this small parking lot, you will see a big, beautiful live oak tree over there. That tree has been dated to be between 320 and 350 years old. Now, the tree, unfortunately, it was a hanging tree for decades. It was used as a hanging tree. But not only that, this was also a site for a POW camp during the American Civil War. Now, they put prisoners of war all underneath that tree and around this area. So, that's a lot of death. That's a lot of bodies over here in this area. But remember, the Siege of Savannah I was telling you about, the second bloodiest battle of the American Revolutionary War. Now, a good portion of the battle was fought over there in Madison Square where we were. But they said the heart of that battle happened right here. She decides to greet my guest. I haven't gone on the slide yet tonight, so I don't know. But if you look above the awning, is she up there? Yes, she is.
Yes, she is.
It's a beautiful, beautiful animal. You usually come
my
back
gosh.
in the daytime because she's actually least creepy right now. There's something really wrong with that mannequin's face. It is so unusual.
Well, we are back at the hotel after our Hearse ghost tour experience. Here are my takeaways. Okay, this is what we were told. This is what she was telling us. So whether it's true or not, I will leave it up to you, and you can research, and I'm going to do my own Googling and all that stuff. But what she told us during this tour is that there are a lot of dead bodies all over this city. In the squares, people were buried there, and bodies just extended into the streets as they paved them. A lot of houses that are surrounding squares are just on top of grave sites, mass burial places from all the diseases from the wars and all that stuff over the years and centuries. So a lot of bodies everywhere that you walk. And then, for some of these beautiful houses that we see around the squares, you never know what kind of ghosts there are and all these bodies that are there. So a lot of the beautiful houses that we see around the squares, they're like sitting on top of grave sites. It's like really creepy. We heard a lot of stories in terms of haunted places. The Foley House, where they said that it's now a museum, but on Friday nights they lock people in there that want to do paranormal investigation for several hours. And there have been a lot of sightings and stuff like that, so really creepy. Houses that have been a lot of suicides and killings, and people have renovated these places. I'm like, I'm not living there. So if I'm gonna buy a place in Savannah one day, I'm gonna have to do a lot of history, because there's a a lot of dead bodies everywhere. So that was, you know, that's what we were told. That's a story. But again, you know, it's a very unique experience. I've never done anything like that before. It was interesting. It was fun, informative in terms of how much information is true. That's another question. But these were the Hearse tours. Our driver was great. Penny was great. Great stories, and something definitely to experience if you're here in Savannah. So, with that said, it's been a long day. Tomorrow is going to be a little more relaxed as we explore more. And we found out that one of the places we're going to have lunch at is haunted as well. So we'll talk about that tomorrow in our next video, or whenever this blends all together. But I just want to say thank you for watching our second day in Savannah. Hope you've been enjoying. Like the video, subscribe, and you know, we got more adventures to come. So thank you for watching, and I will see you tomorrow or on the next video. Good night.